You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.
Welcome back to AZ-104 Exam Prep Series. Today we are focusing on the creation of storage account. Well, here we will see how to create and configure storage account to get started with it. Then we will see what redundancy options or application option Azure provides and what are the benefits. Plus, we will look at storage account encryption. Then we will also explore Azure Storage Explorer. That is, again, an agent which works like a file explorer you have on your laptop. It helps you to explore the storage environment you're assigned to. So let's get started. All right, so now let's check out how you can create or deploy storage account on Azure. So right now I am in my Azure portal. As you can see, I have no resource group. This one is automatically created when you deploy a virtual network. This is for Network Watcher. So let's create a resource group, and I will deploy my resource inside it. So demo in Canada Central is fine. Click Next, Create. Perfect. Now let's talk about Azure Storage. So if you search for storage account, you will see this unified dashboard. So Azure Storage Account is again a platform as a service which offers you storage service. Here you can store different file formats. Whether you want to store structured data, unstructured data, it is okay. You can store it. Or if you want to, let's say, create a file share over the network, yes, you can do that. Or maybe you want to create a buffer storage between two applications, where one application can talk or send messages to another application while being decoupled. This means those two applications have no reason to connect with each other. They have a separate buffer area where they can put the message and pass it on. For that, we have queues. Or let's say you want to save some value key pair in a tabular format. That is your structured data. For that, we have tables. Now remember, Azure Table is not the substitute for SQL database. No. Azure Table can only do value key pairs. Plus, it is for structured data, but non-relational data as well. If you have a proper requirement of relational database, then you will use SQL for that. Now, when you get to this dashboard, you will see Overview. Overview will show you a summary that how many storage accounts you have, how many disks you have, Elastic SAN, managed Ledger, something like that, NetApp files. These are all storage-related functionality. Even file synchronization, storage discovery, storage actions, and whatnot. Now, some of these services are advanced. You will not actually learn it in Azure 104. But in Azure 104, we have storage account. So if you go to storage account, I don't have any. So for that, you have to create one. So let's see how you can create storage account. Go to all storage resources, overview, account. Not summary, resources, and then you click on create. You select your subscription, you select your resource group, and you give your storage account a unique name. Now, this name should be lowercase, and it should be globally unique. So I will call it RSB demo. Yeah, no one is using that. Region, I will install it in Canada Central. Preferred storage type. Now, even if you select Azure Files, you can still save Azure Blobs. If you select Azure Blobs, you can still save Azure Files and tables and queue and vice versa. So what is this then? Well, here you are just selecting your preference so that Azure can create an environment which gives you the best performance for your use case. So if you know that your primary use case will be storing blobs, B-L-O-B, then you will select this. I will just go with it. Now, the next option is performance. This is important. If you select standard, you get basically all the bells and whistles. That's actually weird, right? You might think that you should get everything in premium. No, in standard, you can store or you can create containers, you can create file share, you can create tables, you can create queues and whatnot. And you also get pretty awesome speeds and performance. But if your use case demands the lowest latency possible and the best performance possible, for that you will select premium. And with premium, now you have to select your service. You cannot select everything. So you might select premium block blobs, or premium file share, or premium page blobs. But you have to be very specific here. So I'll go with standard to show you all the possibilities. Next is your redundancy. This is very important for, again, fault tolerance, high availability, and the overall resilience of your environment. Now, you cannot select zero redundancy. You cannot. The minimum you can select is LRS. That stands for locally redundant storage. In this one, 3 copies of your data will be saved in the same data center, but in different racks or different rooms. This will give you protection against rack failure. Imagine the whole rack is gone. You still have your content ready and available. This protects you from server failure, disk failure. But it cannot protect your data from zone failure if the whole zone is out. Now, if you want to protect it and you want zone protection as well, you want to protect data and you want zone protection as well, the next one is zone redundant storage. Not this one, zone redundant right now. Here, again, you have 3 copies. And I can also show you this. Okay, in LRS, there is only one zone or one data center, and you have 1 copy, 2 copy, 3 copy. Now, these are in different racks. 1, 2, and 3. So if this one is gone, you still have your data. If this one is gone, you have data. If this one is gone, again, now you don't have data because the whole zone is out. The next is zone redundant storage. Here you have 3 zones, means 3 different data center. Your data will be saved over here. So 1 copy will live here, 1 copy will live here, and 1 copy will live here. So this gives you, again, protection against disk, rack, blade failure, blade is server failure, and also zone failure, the whole zone is gone. Now, what if the whole region, this is the region is gone? Well, in that case, you have GRS, geo-redundant storage. So what happens here? You cannot delete everything. No, just go back then. Okay. Now you have 2 regions. Of course, in it might be in 2 countries, but 2 regions can also be in the same country, but far apart. All right. Now, in one region, you will have 1, 2, 3 copies or replicas, but in one data center. This will be your primary region. So one will be called your primary region. Imagine this is primary. Then this primary region will be connected with secondary region, and the synchronization will be asynchronous, means it is not real time. Whenever there is time or the synchronization is triggered, it will happen. Then you have another zone in separate region, where you have 1, 2, 3, again, 3 copies. So all the read and write happens on primary. And secondary, nothing. You cannot read it. Now you may think, then if we cannot read this data, then why do we have it here? Well, this is not for you. This is for Azure to make sure to give you highest availability possible. If Azure is promising you 99.9999% availability, then Azure needs this structure and you need to pay for it. So this is your GRS. Now the next one is GZRS. Why? Because even in this, what if this whole zone is down? Well, even if you have it in secondary side, so who cares? Because you cannot access it. Your data is not available anymore. So what we can do GRS plus ZRS or ZRS to get the best of both worlds. So what will happen now? Again, you will have 2 regions, but in the primary region, you will have 3 zones and 1, 2, and 3 replicas, 1, 2, 3. Plus, in the secondary region, you only have 1 zone with 3 replicas, 1, 2, 3. So in total, again, you only have 6 replicas, but here you also get zone protection, zone failure protection. So this is your GZRS. Again, you can read, you can write on primary, but secondary, you cannot read, write. Now there's one more, actually 2 more. We have something called RA-GRS. RA-GRS. That means there is 1 zone here, 1 zone here, means 2 data centers, 3 replicas, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and they are connected. And let's say this whole zone is out. This is your read and write primary site or primary zone. Now, secondary. If this is down, you don't have access to your data. But in RA-GRS, you at least get read access to secondary, so that you can still read your data. And maybe it's a big disaster, you can read your data and copy it somewhere else to get your read and write access back. So this makes your data highly available. You can at least read it. And then we have something called RA-GZRS. Same logic, it's just multiple zones. 1, 2, 3, 1 here, 1 copy, 2 copy, 3 copy, 1, 2, 3. Again, read, write. Here you have read access, primary, secondary. So I hope now it is clear. So LRS, GRS, ZRS, GZRS. So where is RA? Well, you just click on the GRS. This is GRS right now. If you select this option, it becomes RA-GRS. Make read access to data available in the event of regional unavailability. Means secondary side will give you at least read access. This is GZRS and this is RA-GZRS. So RA-GZRS will be the most expensive solution. So which will be the most cheapest? LRS. So I will select that. Next, at advanced, we don't have to change anything, but here you can see the encryption algorithm we are using. So we are using TLS 1.2. This is for your encryption in transit. Now, blob storage. Here you can also allow cross-tenant replication, means you can replicate your data from this storage account from a specific tenant to another storage account belonging to some another tenant. maybe a different organization. You can replicate. Now, this can be used to back up your data, or it can be used in the scenario of migration. Then you have access tier. If you select hot, then Azure will make sure to optimize your storage environment for frequently accessed data and everyday usage scenario. Means it gives you lowest latency and best performance. If you select cool, cool is a good balance between performance and cost. So if you still use data here and there, right, and you want cheaper rates as well, then you select cool. If you select cold, this is optimized for rarely accessed data. Remember, this is still not archival. You're not archiving it for years. You will still use it, and the data can still be retrieved pretty quickly, not super slow. Okay, I will go with hot. Next is networking. This is where you can decide, do you want to make this storage account publicly visible? Do you want to disable the public access altogether? This is like protecting your storage account. No one can connect with it. Even you cannot connect with it. Or do you want to create a service endpoint, a private connection? It all depends on the scenario. Okay. Now, if you decide to create a service endpoint, then you will select this. And then you put your private endpoint connection here. You can create it. Or you can select enable and then select this to establish a service endpoint. Okay? Either you can just say disable and create a private endpoint, or enable it and create service endpoint. But if you want it to be globally visible, enable from all networks then. Then, network routing. How do you want your data to travel? And for different scenarios, you can use either Microsoft Network Backbone or Internet. Microsoft Network Backbone simply means the Microsoft own connection. Yes, they do have their own fiber optic connection. They have their submarine cable, which they lay out from one data center to other data center. They also cross oceans. They have money to do that. You can use that backbone. But still, that backbone is not as huge as your internet connections. So you can also use internet routing. Data protection. Just like your iPhone, when you delete a picture and it stays for 30 days and then it is gone, it gives you the opportunity to restore your images, right? Same here. You can either enable point-in-time restore, which creates snapshots. So if you make a mistake, you can always go back or revert back to previous stable state. Or you accidentally deleted something. Well, you can go back and bring it back. Or you can enable soft delete. Soft delete for blob, containers, file share simply means if you delete something, it will stay on hold, or it will stay retained for 7 days. You can change it. 2 days, whatever you want. 40 days. But it will retain it for these many days, and then it will be gone. It will be deleted. Now, I don't want this, so I will uncheck it. Plus, just like you enable tracking on your documents, right? Tracking means that you can check what is changed and who changed it. You can also enable it here. You can enable versioning for blobs. You can enable blob change feed. So it will keep a track of every change made by a person or whoever made it. You can audit it. Now, access control. This will enable version level immutability support. So this put a time-based retention policy. By the way, without even this, you can still put a time-based policy if you just go to Azure policies and you find the definition and you apply it. Next is encryption. Well, data at rest is always encrypted, so you just have a choice to either let Microsoft maintain your encryption keys, or if you want to maintain it, you can click on Customer Managed Keys. In this case, you can maintain the keys in the key vault, which you will create on Azure. But in most cases, I will select this. Let Microsoft manage my keys. Now, enable infrastructure encryption. You can also enable it. Now, once it is encrypted, you cannot just go back and change it. So this option cannot be changed after the storage account is created, because once it is done, the storage account will go into encryption mode. Everything will be encrypted. Now, I don't need that. You can add tags to tag it to a particular production team or project or whatever value you want to put. And that's it. You just click on create and your storage account will be created. So it is pretty easy and quick to set up a blank or empty storage account at least. All right, so let's go back to our storage account, and here you go. This is your storage account with all the services inside it. Most of the time will be gone over here. Container and file share. Like these are the 4 types of storage it offers: container, file share, queues, and table. You will spend most of the time here. And all the organization also use container and file share structure pretty often. Now, what if you want to upload data to the storage now? You have 2 options. Either you will use the graphical interface or GUI by using Storage Explorer. This is actually an agent which you can install on your computer. It's just a software, Storage Explorer. Or you can use CLI command called AZ-copy. If you put AZ-copy and then you tell the destination and source, it will push, or I will save all the data on cloud, especially in your storage account. Now, in next module, we will also see how to create containers, how to create file shares, how to put data in it, and how to access it. But that's it for this demo. Now you know how to deploy your storage account, so you should go ahead and at least create a storage account and just go around all the features. At least skim it. All right, so in this video, we covered how to create and configure storage account, how to select the right redundancy option according to your scenarios. Then we also see that storage account will always keep data at rest encrypted. You just have a choice to manage your keys on your own, or let the platform, that is Microsoft, manage the encryption keys. We also saw Azure Storage Explorer and how it actually looks like, and how to connect with your storage environment. Well, in the next video, we will dive into the configuration of Azure File Share and Azure Blob Storage, focusing on file share and blob containers at the same time. Well, I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.